Hi guys. So I'm going to actually record the lesson for today, for Tuesday. It's Monday night. So you have something to go back and look and study with, because this kind of can get a little bit complicated. So anyway, we're going to start out just doing regular division, not division of polynomials, just regular division. A little vocabulary. This is called your divisor. This underneath is called your dividend, and once you get your final answer, that's called your quotient, because you'll be seeing those words and directions and everything. So let's go. So when we start out, we go, okay, let's take our dividend and start dividing it by our divisor. So we're going to say how many times can, well, we'll start with the first number. The first number, and can 4 be divided by 23? The answer is no. So we'll go, can 47 divided by 23? And the answer is yes. It can go in there 2 times. So 23 times 2 is 46. And then we subtract and we get 1. And then we bring down the next number. The next number is 3. And can 23 go into 13? The answer is no, so that would be 0. And then we bring down the next number, and that's 135. And then how many times can 23 go into 135? And that would be 5 times. So 5 times, which would be 5 times, that'd be 15, carry your 1, that's 115, and then we subtract, that's 0, 2, nothing brought down, and then we say, can 23 go, and there's nothing to bring down, so can 23 go into 20, and the answer is no. So 20 is your remainder, so this would be 20 over, the divisor is 23. So my quotient is 205 with 20 23rds remainder left over. So that was from a long time ago, and we're going to do that again, doing it with polynomials. Polynomials have variables in them. So and that's why we've been doing adding, subtracting, and multiplying with polynomials. So it's the same kind of idea, but it's a little bit trickier. So I'm going to give you some notes that I want you to copy, and I'm going to pause in between, but we're going to do several together after this videotape. But I do want you to copy the notes, but then you can go back and refer to it also. So here we go. So we have a trinomial divided by a binomial. And this over here, don't worry about this right now. So what we did, we divide, multiply, subtract, and then you bring down. That's what we just did over here. We're going to do the same thing. And so I kind of wrote down DMSB. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Same kind of steps. So, but it's weird because we just don't have one divisor. So what you do is we're always going to use, and you may want to either underline or box, or if you have a highlighter, highlight this because you only use the first term. So you go to your dividend and you divide it by this first term by this first term. Always the first term here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the math to the side, which I'd like for you to copy, and that's why I'm videotaping it, so you can keep going back and looking. So I'm going to divide first, so I'm going to take this 3x squared, and I'm going to divide it by the first term over here, which is x. So when I do that, we subtract exponents when we divide. So 3x squared divided by x gives me 3x. So that's step 1, divide. So when I divide here, I'm going to put that 3x, I'm going to line it up over here. I'm going to put that over here with the other like terms. I'm just going to put here 3x. And then I'm going to multiply, that's the next one, by all this divisor. Remember how I took that 2 and I multiplied it by 23 and I got 46? I'm doing the same thing. So now I'm going to multiply this by the whole divisor, x plus 2. So I'm going to multiply. So when I take 3x, I got to multiply it by the whole divisor. And I want you guys, it's really helpful to write this down until you got it pat. so you understand it all. So let's distribute. Remember, we just did that for our homework. So 3x times x is 3x squared. And then 3x times 2 is 6x, and it's positive 6x. Now we're going to subtract. Now, here's something that we're going to do when we subtract. So we're going to subtract this whole thing. So I have this little saying. So I want you to watch this. When we subtract, remember how you have to distribute a negative? So listen to my saying, because I'm going to say it a lot. I'm going to say, draw the line, and then because this is a negative, we're going to change the signs of everything. Draw the line, change the signs. So see how this is positive? That becomes negative. See how this is positive? That becomes negative, because we're distributing a negative. So draw the line, change the signs. Draw the line, change the signs. That's distributing a negative, that's subtraction. And now let's go ahead and do the math. Your first terms better cancel out or you did something wrong. And then negative 2x plus a negative 6x or minus 6x is negative 8x. And then bring down the plus 1. And now you start all over, so let's do it again. So I start with the first term, I'm going to divide. So when I divide, I'm going to take what's left over. That's my first term. That's my new first term. So I'm going to take that negative 8x. I'm going to divide by that x that I put a box around. So when I divide, ooh, look what happens with the x's. They cancel out. I'm left with negative 8. So I'll put a negative 8 over here. Okay, now I'm going to multiply by my divisor, sorry, my bad. X plus 2, so let's distribute. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times positive 2, negative 16. Okay, here we go. Ready with that cool little saying? Draw the line, change the signs. That's distributing your negative. Draw the line, change the signs. These cancel out like they're supposed to. 1 plus 16 is 17. There's nothing to bring down, which is good news because that means you're done. There's no more steps, no more, I don't have to do the sequence again. 17 is your remainder, so I write it as 17 over the divisor, x plus 2. It's a positive 17, so with polynomials it's a good idea because that's how you'll see it on the SAT, like this. There's your final answer. That's your quotient right there. Done. Okay, and you're probably going, oh my, Miss Troyer, don't worry, we're going to do a lot. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. Then after I do one more on video, then we're going to do one together. So don't fear, all right? Don't be scared. Okay, this is good stuff. It's actually fun once you get the hang of it. Yes, I know I'm a math nerd, but it is kind of fun. So let me scoot this up a little bit. Okay, this is on my refrigerator, my little whiteboard here. Okay, and all of these, hopefully you'll be able to zoom in. These are the steps, and I'm going to explain the steps as I go. So let's draw our little DMSB. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. That's hopefully going to help you with your steps. You have to do it every time. So I'm going to box this because that's what I'm going to divide by each time on your divisor, whatever that first term is. Now I left a blank here because if you look, this is how it's written this time. I'm missing a term. It goes 4x squared and then it goes to 3. You're missing an x. I have to check my time. I have to be a little bit faster. So it says here, put in your missing term. If it's missing a term, you can leave it blank, but I know that I'm missing an x. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put a plus a 0x. It's place value. You're just missing a place value. So I'm going to put a 0x in there. And now it says divide first term and dividend by first term and divisor. That's what we just did the last step. And now I'm writing it down for you if you want to see it in words. This is just what I said verbally. Now I'm putting it on paper. So here we go with division. So I'm going to take this first term, that's in your dividend, and I'm going to divide. So I'm going to go 4x squared divided by that x. So x squared over x leaves me with 4x. And now I'm going to multiply this by the answer by the divisor. That's my divisor. So I'm going to go x minus 1. So this what I get when I divide, I'm going to multiply it by the whole divisor, x minus 1. So when, and I can't forget to put this up here, 4x. Now let's go ahead and multiply. So I get 4x squared. My pen's running out, of course, times negative 4x. And now the fun part. So after I multiply, now I'm going to subtract, and I have it right here. Draw the line, change the sign, so that you don't forget that fun little saying. So draw the line, change the signs. So this eliminates 0x's plus 4x's is 4x's, and now it says bring down, so I bring down that negative 3, and then I'm going to repeat the steps starting with step 2, because you already took care of the missing term that was gone. So we only got one more step and that's it. So on the one more step, I'm going to take 4x, I'm going to divide it by x. So 4x divided by x, yippee skippy, that cancels out. So I'm going to put, I'm left with a positive 4. So I've got my 4, whoops, here I'll make it a funky 4, woohoo, times x minus 1. So when I distribute, I get 4x minus 4, and then we're going to draw the line, change the signs, because there was nothing to bring down, so that's good. That means no more steps after this. This eliminates. I'm left with positive 1. There's your remainder. So I'm left with a positive 1 over x minus 1. There is your quotient, which means that is your solution. Right there. How am I doing? Okay, looks good. So the very last one I want you to copy. After you copy, I'd like for you to try to set it up. Don't forget to do step 1, and then we will talk about it and we'll try to do it together, a little bit on your own, a little bit with me, and I will be pausing in between this, so there you go. Okay. Ciao. Peace out.